Chat to you just about the comments that you were making about police. Can you explain to us what people have been raising concerns about?
In terms of the beat patrol?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the big complaints I heard last year especially was around beat patrols just picking up homeless people's stuff and putting it in the bin. When I inquired about it, they said that that was because it was a Wellington City Council bylaw, and I don't think that that should be what they're dedicating their resource towards.
Do you think that their purpose... What do you think their purpose is, and do you think that they should be there?
I think that the police should be responding to incidences of domestic violence, sexual violence, things that only they can do. I think beat patrols is an easy thing that can be substituted for by Māori wardens, by hapa-aki kind of community people walking around, which we have in Wellington, and I think they should focus on their core business.
Is this the position of the Greens, or is this your position as Wellington Central MP?
We haven't actually updated our justice policy around beat patrols because they are a new thing, but these are the feedback that I have been hearing from the community, but also from organisations that support homeless people.
Chloe Swarbrick yesterday said it wasn't what she'd been hearing in Auckland, so do you think there's a disconnect there?
There could be, but in terms of the way that the different cities are being policed, I can only speak from the experiences that I've heard in Wellington in response to our significant increase in police in the CBD.
Do you believe we should defund the police?
Altogether? I think there are some functions that the police are currently carrying out that other people would be better suited at. Mental health support and responding to people in significant distress is a big example. We know that there was an 11-year-old autistic girl who was detained in custody and drugged. That's not okay. That's just one incidence of police doing a job that I don't think that they're trained and resourced for.
What do you think of the criticism that you're receiving from the ACT Party and Mark Mitchell for your stance on police matters?
I think it's unusual for them to see someone be critical of the police, but I think it is important that somebody in this parliament are critical of police, because the IPCA, who investigate misconduct by the police, only investigate 2% of all of the complaints that they receive. They've got significant amounts of power and discretion, and I want to make sure that they exercise that in a way that is fair to the public.
You made some comments a while back about most of the people being in prison not having committed violent offences. Why did you make those comments?
The reason that I made them is because our prisons are overcrowded and there are too many people in there that are serving short sentences for very minor things. I spoke to a woman last week in one of the 3 prisons that I visited last week, and she was in there for shoplifting $12 worth of items. Now that's $151,000 worth of taxpayer money going into locking someone up who couldn't afford to feed themselves. That's not justice. That's unfair. It's cracking down on people who have got no other means to survive.
You do recognise that most prisoners have committed violent offences though, right?
It is about half and half, but there are a significant amount of people who are in there that should not be in there, and the Minister has acknowledged that himself with me.
Do you regret saying that beat police are only there picking up homeless people's stuff? Do you think that's the only function they serve?
That's the only feedback I've received, and isn't it my job to communicate what people are saying to me about certain things?
Do you see any other... Do you see that, I mean, the Minister is saying that crime in Wellington CBD has fallen by about 5.5%, whereas it's 2% everywhere else. So is that not I guess evidence that they are helping reduce crime?
Well, that assumes that police are the only safety mechanisms that exist within Wellington. That completely dismisses all of the organisations that are working really hard to keep our city safe. In fact, I think Wellington has been one of the strongest cities in asking for alternatives to policing, because the heavier visual presence of police does not make people feel safer. It makes people feel more on edge because there are more police around.
Oh, look, I thought it was quite outrageous and insane, to be honest. It's just weird, to be honest.
Clearly she's for anarchy.
It's la-la land stuff.